All right, so unless you've been under a rock, you've heard the name Grant Cardone lately. He's on Periscope, Facebook, Meerkat, YouTube. I mean, he's everywhere. Um, so I'm going to explain why he's right and a few things that I don't think are correct. First of all, I have not bought any of his stuff, but I have watched a bunch of his podcasts, his videos, the streams, and whatnot. One of my friends is heavily into him, buys his stuff and everything. And I was asked, what I think about him by a couple of people. And I think he's right on so many levels and wrong on a couple of things. First, he's definitely right on creating multiple flows of income, without a doubt. That's the best way to get wealthy. The other thing he's right on is real estate. I know you're probably like, oh, well, I can't invest in real estate. I mean, it doesn't really take a lot of money, especially if you're outside of New York or California. One of the things he says is, you basically take your income, whatever you make, and dump it into real estate. I mean, and that's what I'm doing right now. The one thing he is wrong on, I personally think, is he always pushes multifamily property. So I married somebody whose parents, my in-laws, are into commercial property, and I will say they make a ton of money through it. The good thing about commercial property is the fact that once you get somebody big to lease it, you don't have to touch it for, I don't know, 10 to 30 years. That's really passive. Why multifamily, you have renters that are going to be hitting you up about stuff on the building and things like that. It's a little less passive. It requires less money to get into. Commercial's a little bit more, just how the loans are, but you can do it through commercial property. I know he really just talks multifamily all the time. You can make both work. And one of the other things I really don't agree on completely is he always talks about sales being the only way to make money. And I get it, because he has products that, he wants to sell you. He has coaching and Cardone University, which I imagine are great products. But there's other ways to make money as well. I mean, you can create your own products, your own digital products, and sell them online. I come from an online background, so I can create a PDF report and turn it into a business that's making a couple $1,000s a month, without much work. But I do get where it comes from, where selling on the phone and things like that, because that is, if you have no education, you can get a sales job and make six figures in a year, without a doubt. I get it 100%. But you can also create your own company. I created a company out of nothing, just selling stuff online. And, that company has grown, and then I invested in another company, and that company has grown. And really, I'm just selling digital advertising. That's all it is. And, I'm just showing you that there's other ways to do it without picking up the phone and selling anybody. I don't pick up the phone at all, and I don't have to sell one person on anything. It's definitely possible to do it both ways. But he does have a point when it comes to the sales end and things like that. You're selling yourself. He's got great, reality series. I don't know if you've seen the Whatever It Takes, the job interviews. That's pretty good. The streams are pretty good. I also watch Young Hustlers every once in a while. It's just good stuff to put on the background, maybe when you're actually doing work, something to listen to. I don't listen to music when I work. I tend to put on podcasts, and he's one of the guys that I'll listen to every once in a while. But to get back to the real estate on why he is really correct is, let's just take an example here. I literally just bought multifamily property last month, and I put $162,000 down. The rent roll is like 76,000. After I minus expenses and everything else, the free cash is 11,800. You might say that's low. It's in one of the best areas on Long Island. Always going to be rented. The property is in great shape, and it's a higher income area. So on top of that, here's the mortgage. I got my mortgage thing right in front of me. I got to pay $4,824 every month. Interest is $1,950. Taxes and insurance is $2,254. Principal is $620. So say $620 times 12 months. I'm making about $7,200 worth of principal. 11,800 plus $7,200 of principal every year. So now I'm making $19,000. So if you do that divided by my 162 I put into the property, I'm making almost 12% on my money. Which I don't know where else you can get that number. What's even better is, let's take this. The property I bought, just say it was $650,000, it was just about there. Say the property goes up 1% a year. That is $6,500. So I take my $19,000 that I'm making with the renters paying my principal plus my free cash I get. The free cash is what I'm collecting in rent. Minus all my expenses, I end up with $11,800 left. There's $19,000 plus the house appreciation every year. I'm making about $25,500 a year from this property. I only put down 162 grand. So now I'm making about almost 16% on my money, which is unbelievable. I don't know if you know a place that you can get 16% on your money. I mean, let me know. But I know the stock market hasn't given me that. So that is where I completely agree with him. That property I'm showing you is a multifamily property. I agree. I'm just saying that there's other types of properties you can also make money with. I'm not into like shopping malls or anything, but I would definitely buy corner properties on busy streets if you have the money, without a doubt. Like retail spaces that larger chains can rent from you, because that's the idea is to rent it to maybe a bank or 7-Eleven or something like that. They sign big term leases and you're kind of just set. So that is pretty much what I agree and what I disagree with Grant Cardone. I think he's a great guy. He's always, very energetic, great motivation, somebody to be like. So, just want to put it out there to people who have asked me what I thought about him. I think he's got a great site. I just saw he changed over from, was it like WIT Network to Grant Cardone TV. He's just branding himself. If you go anywhere on social media, he's posting like every hour or two. He's constantly out there in your face. That's exactly what you want to be if you're trying to do what he's trying to do. Make sure you're on, getting your content out there on all networks. Always out there. That's what you want to do. So if you like my videos, I got a ton of stuff on real estate and how to build online businesses and things like that, like e-commerce sites. Subscribe to the video, like it. Also, put any comments you have below. I'll definitely get back to you. And I hope you enjoy.